It takes 4 to 5 mercury fillings in the mouth to have the same amount of mercury in your mouth that would contaminate an Olympic-sized pool. Think about that.
So,
The mercury in 4 fillings, 4 average-sized mercury fillings, is enough for the EPA to shut down a pool, Olympic-sized pool, millions of liters of water,
wow.
and treat it. There is a clear link to lower IQ in your children if you have fluoride exposure. No big difference in decay, lower IQ, and it's a neurotoxin. Who wants that? They used to ask me, why is it so expensive? Why don't you take my insurance? And I would tell them, I guarantee you that the insurance dentist makes more money than me. I promise you that. But my decisions are based on what you need, not what I can do for you that's paid for. Yeah, dental insurance versus health insurance, it's a joke.
Yeah.
This is the entry portal, okay? Health starts in the mouth. It really does. I grew up in Germany, and when I was 11 years old, and I can't tell too many of the details, but I had a vaccination. And that vaccination resulted in me being hospitalized for 3 months.
So,
I
like
first,
you couldn't breathe, or you couldn't see, or what happened?
So immediately afterwards, I noticed my right knee became locked up. And I couldn't really move it. It was sore. The soreness then spread from my right knee to my left knee, to both joints. I became very tired. My mother took me to the doctor. They didn't know what it was. They thought maybe early onset rheumatoid arthritis. That's what they said.
Yeah.
And so it got so bad, I couldn't walk anymore, and I was hospitalized. I remember to this day taking a liquid amoxicillin every single day for 3 months. I remember laying underneath too many x-rays. I remember every test you can imagine. I was hooked up to an IV on my hand for months, watching the drip, counting the drips. That's how boring it was. I lost over half my weight.
So,
I was what they called cachexic, and my school came to visit me. My mother slept in the room. We switched hospitals, and the conclusion was idiopathic. They don't know what it was. But I would never walk again. I certainly, if I did manage to walk, I would never do a sport. And there was a pretty good chance that this could be a short life, almost fatal.
interesting.
No solutions, no answers, no magic pills, no diet changes, no surgeries, no answers. And not one person mentioned the vaccines.
I was just going to ask that. Did any of your parents think about it?
Unfortunately, I believe no. I don't think anybody put it together until my history, my education as a biologic dentist, and my other experiences I had as well. I looked back and said, wow, look at that. The vaccine was just a couple of days before.
I see.
And then everything happened, and voila, that was my wake-up call. So the only thing that actually saved me was my mind. My mother gave me a gold necklace and said, this will make you better.
Huh.
And I do remember being in good spirits because nobody ever told me how bad it really was. So my family was supportive, the doctors were supportive, and I had a good attitude. And when I left the hospital in a wheelchair, and I was so excited to finally be able to move in a wheelchair because I was tied to an IV.
You still were?
I was tied to an IV.
Even in the wheelchair?
So as soon as they put me in the wheelchair, they took the IV out.
Oh.
They said, go home.
Wow.
And they told me, you're going to be using this wheelchair probably forever. My mother was crying. I was so excited that I could move. And so I was in the wheelchair, got home, and I got better.
How long did it take roughly to get better?
So 3 months in the hospital, it went pretty quick. Because within a year, I was a gymnast. Within a year, I was doing giants on a high bar in gymnastics. I became somewhat of a prodigy in sports. Which is completely contrary to what the doctor said.
Exactly.
And long story short, I became a elite level Olympic athlete in college in the United States when we
And
moved
you
here.
ended up going to the Olympics, or you were part of
That was the next level.
program?
Yeah, that was the next level. I was one level before.
Big dedication, I'm sure.
Every single day, 4 or 5 hours in the gym.
Wow.
But this was completely contrary to what they said was going to happen.
Yeah.
And so that gave me the doubt. That gave me the, the spark that doctors don't know everything. And sometimes you need to look outside the box for solutions. Yeah.
Wow, dentistry. Why dentistry? What did you know somebody in the field and you were inspired by it? Or was there already a foresight that you had as far as there is something about dental health?
It's actually very interesting. I was going to be a computer programmer. I came from
Close
Germany.
enough.
Yeah, it's the same thing, right?
Yeah, you're
Very
German.
related. I was learning assembler language in German as I moved to the United States, and I really liked it. But my dad was a very well-known dentist. He practiced the highest level of dentistry at that time, which was gold. He did a lot of gold work. He did a lot of speaking on gold work. His dentistry truly was amazing.
Was it gold on the outside or gold on the inside, or what was it?
So USC, my school, is kind of known as one of the top gold schools in the world. Before we got into the biologic side of dentistry, gold was the best material. Still lasts the longest. Required the most skill. It's soft. It's malleable. There's just a lot of good things about gold in the mouth. So that was his forte. And I liked the lifestyle we had. I enjoyed the independence he had as a dentist. And so when it came to picking something after high school, I did graduate valedictorian, but I had no idea of what I wanted to do. So I said, well, I'm going to do dentistry because my dad has a great life. I'm good with my hands. And so I applied to dental school and, I got in after 2 years instead of 4 years. I kind of did everything a little faster. And there's a lot of interesting stories about dental school and how I became a biologic dentist.
I remember when I was young that when I was in elementary school, that twice a year there would be this dental bus that pulled up to the school.
Yeah.
And then everybody would have their own personal medical card that kept track of what we did when we had to go to dental. So you had to take that. When your name came up, you had to walk out to the bus, and then you go in, and I think there was 2 or 3 dental chairs in there with, I think now that they were probably dental students.
Well, we practiced on you.
Yeah, you sure did.
We sure
And I would get all these mercury fillings, and the way it was at the time, and it may still be when you were young, there was no Novocaine. You pretty much just drill when there was a hole, and if it hurt, it hurt, and it would go away pretty quickly.
Yeah.
But that's what they did, and then you come out of there, and everybody was just wetting their pants because it was so
awful,
so
right?
intense, and you couldn't scream or anything. You just had to toughen it out. And my thought was always, when I got a little bit older, until I was 18, as far as I knew, going to the dentist, it would never do Novocaine. And I would look at that. I would always look at that light that shines in your mouth, and I would think about soldiers on the battlefield who would lose an arm or a leg, who probably had a lot more pain than a little bit of pain that I had in my mouth. So I just tried to encourage myself to just go through it. But when I came to the United States, I had 22 mercury fillings in my mouth.
Wow.
And I still ended up okay.
It takes 4 to 5 mercury fillings in the mouth to have the same amount of mercury in your mouth that would contaminate an Olympic-sized pool. Think about that.
So
The mercury in 4 fillings, 4 average-sized mercury fillings, is enough for the EPA to shut down a pool, Olympic-sized pool, millions of liters of water, and treat it.
Wow.
Yet you had many.
22 fillings.
So you have mercury poisoning,
Yeah.
clearly.
Oh boy, I should come
Yeah.
and see you.
Yeah, well, I think you're in the right track. So yeah, dental school. Yeah, in dental school we do use anesthetic now. Novocaine is a very common name, but we haven't used Novocaine since like the 60s. So it's Articaine, Lidocaine.
Maybe it was one of those.
Yeah, but we still use Novocaine because people know the name. It induces a great amount of fear. It's great.
Yeah.
The pain from dentistry, you are not imagining it. There's 3 pain nuclei in every single tooth compared to the rest of your body. So if you get a leg cut off, okay, you're going to have 1 pain nuclei. If I'm drilling on your tooth with a drill, you're going to feel dramatically more discomfort.
Okay.
So it's not people's imagination. It is horrible. And it's not just the pain, it's the sound, it's the vibration, it's the idea that somebody's in your mouth. And so I spent my career doing whatever I can to alleviate the traditional dental image. So the pain, the discomfort, I consider myself an anti-anxiety dentist, so to say. And if we work on a patient, it's not so much about getting the work done as it is doing it in a healthy way for the patient, not just physically, but also emotionally. So for kids, I take a lot of time. To me, it's more about them having a good experience because I have too many patients coming to me that say, oh, it was awful. I just can't. Dentistry is the nightmare from my childhood.
Yeah.
And we need to change that. But in dental school, here's an interesting story for you about mercury. I remember for 2 years, we were learning, right, how to place mercury fillings. We have a light right here, a big, heavy, bright light. We have fake teeth that we have collected, actually real teeth from oral surgeons that we set up in a cast that we drill on. So we drill on those teeth, and then we would take the mercury, the liquid part, and the powder, we'd mix it together, and then we'd plug it into those teeth.
Yeah.
So you have the plug right here, you have the heat right here, and I remember the mercury vapor coming up and feeling dizzy day after day because
Wow.
2 years.
Even with a mask in front of you, or you
We
didn't
didn't wear
do that at the
masks.
time?
Nobody told us to wear masks. The unfortunate position of most universities to this day is that mercury is not toxic. This is why in America we still use mercury. Warranting, Europe just banned it, right?
Yeah.
It's just we're in a litigious country, and if we suddenly change our stance on mercury, and we have billions of mercury fillings, can you imagine the class action lawsuits in this country? So I feel it's a very difficult thing to call something toxic, even though everybody else in the world is. And I am pretty sure at the time I graduated from dental school, I was high in mercury toxicity.
So.
Yeah, and brain fog. It's just very, very sad what happens to all the dental students.